Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Varieties of Slice of Life, an Otaku Media podcast. As always, I'm Anthony, and joining me today is the lovely Zach.
Hello.
And the exceptional Jarrett.
Salutations, Internet.
We are a bi-monthly podcast talking about games, anime, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Today we're going to be talking about Vocaloid, the internet sensation.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Vocaloid is... It's weird, because it is relevant and unrelevant, or irrelevant at, like, all times, somehow. Like, since the internet had... since, like, big media sharing on the internet got where it is today, they've kind of been present, but they've gone more obscure as, like, time's gone on, at least for me. But I'm not in middle school, so maybe it's still relevant to a bunch of middle school kids.
I would say this is one of the few things on this podcast that I am completely out of my depth on. When you guys told me about it, I started watching some stuff. I'm just like, I get it, but I guess I just don't have history with it.
For those of you that don't know what it is a voice synthesizer software. That, because Japanese language is very unique, where you can record a handful of sounds and then make any sentence out of that. Americans can kind of do it, but, like, it's way easier in Japan. Like, there's a lot less they have to record. So they made a program that I think it was originally made for speech, and then they figured out that they could do a bunch of stuff with, like, the tones and the length of the word and all this other stuff. And then they could make music out of it. And so that, they made that. They made, like, I think 5 or 6 original idols to, like, kind of be faces for these voices. It was not originally a commercial product. It was only supposed to be sold in, like, industries and to be, like, make music and whatnot. Not to just somebody to make, their own music. And then it got really big with the release of Vocaloid 2 because people just loved Hatsune Miku, like, to death. And then it just started expanding more and more from there, and now it's this, I think it's safe to say, worldwide sensation by this point.
Yeah. It's got a following in the West as well.
Yeah. You go to any, weeb store, you'll definitely see something.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've seen Hatsune Miku stuff, but never knew what it was, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's oddly impacted culture in such a weird way, because it was one of the biggest... It was a really big meme in, like, 2008, 2009.
Mm-hmm.
It's still relatively a meme today. There's still content being made for it, but, like, officially and unofficially. But it's a very interesting thing. So I guess, like, the full history of it is they came out with Pack 1. They had the 5 singers on it, which was Leo, Lola, Mirami, Miko, and Kaito. And Kaito and Miko, I think, are the only... I think Lola too, but I think those are, like, the only ones that are still being updated today and being made to sound more clear, because the Vocaloid first pack was very bit crushed and janky sounding, but it also was 2004, so a bit more understandable. Then on August 31st, Hatsune Miku was created and released, and Japan fell in love with her. I believe they had I think not very long, I think it was maybe a year after she was released, they had a, like, full-fledged concert with a bunch of characters. Ren and Lin, Hatsune Miku, I think... There's, like, a couple others that they had, but it went over really well, and I think they've been doing it ever since. But yeah. It's kind of a base overview of it.
I just find Vocaloid, like, a interesting thing, because, like, I don't know, like, really much about the company that does it, but, like, they don't do most of the stuff. It's mostly just a fan done thing, because literally anybody can just take these voices and make a song out of them. So it's just like such a, you know, you get all these like songs made by like random people that are like get super popular, and it's just like, oh, that's a Hatsune Miku song. Doesn't matter, like it's by someone, but it's still a Hatsune Miku song.
And it has like a weird thing because like some of the fan songs are so popular that they've like there's one song called Cantinella, I think, which has its own stage play that was in like a really famous theater in Japan, and I think they still do plays occasionally. So it's a cool thing. But I feel like a lot of weebs, I say weebs in the nicest way, that's how they either got introduced to anime, or they just like they stumbled upon a video and then went down the rabbit hole of tens of thousands of videos that exist on the internet.
Kind of like almost the same line of the AMVs, the anime music videos that have been a thing for forever. I'm a little sad. I don't see too many of those pop up anymore. I am sure they're still out there, but they're not as
well. It's copyright, and it's
true.
You know, there's a bunch of things because old YouTube's copyright wasn't as heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You could upload a fucking full Nickelback song with Soul Eater. It's, you know,
specific. Look at this photograph.
Maka getting stabbed, you know. But so a big, even if you don't know it, you've probably heard at least of the Leave a Polka song, or at least some parody of it. I love the one where they replace most of the music with gunshots. It's really funny.
I don't think I've heard that one. The Leave a Polka one is like really funny, just because like it's the most like one of the most popular Hatsune Miku songs, but it's not even like in Japanese. That's a Jewish song, I think. Like that's a Jewish folk song, I believe.
Yeah. It's interesting because like it's you can't. I don't want to say you can't tell. It's if Hatsune Miku is in another language aside from English, it sounds pretty good usually. But I mean, you're not a native speaker, so maybe it sounds janky. But it's, I don't know. I love how oddly worldwide it's become because of that. Like Leave a Polka got huge, and then like the Popipo, the vegetable juice drink thing, was also huge.
Mm-hmm. I would say, like, I didn't even know what it was, but now that when I saw that video, it's like, I have heard this before. I don't know where I've heard it, but I've heard this before.
I think our generation has probably been the most introduced to Vocaloid.
Mm-hmm.
So Hatsune Miku kind of has, I say siblings, but they're really not. They're just like other programs that are made with the same software that all have characters. Some are American, and then those ones are horribly not popular. They are not cared about at all. And then like the Japanese ones got really big, and I think the company noticed that about I want to say 3 or 4, because they just started releasing nothing but idols, with like a handful of exceptions. And they have a lot of good singers. Personally, some of like my favorites. I like Gummy a lot, and I like Cool Cul.
Oh, Cole.
I
literally I found that when I was having to look up a pronunciation for that, because I guess that particular like CUL, I guess in a couple other it means something else.
Oh yeah, it means ass in French.
In French,
yeah.
So I'm like, that's
But
yeah.
That and Big Al. I love Big Al just because it's such a dumb name.
Oh, 9 minutes and 30 seconds. I started a timer at the beginning of the thing to see how long it would take you to make the Big Al.
Big Al's like
9 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't know if I should be impressed that you've lasted that long, or just like disappointed.
I don't know what's going on.
I talk about Big Al a lot when me and Zach talk about Vocaloid.
Okay, good to know. I don't think I've ever been stuck in one of your Vocaloid conversations, so...
It doesn't happen often, because I've...
I was going to say, in the years I've known you guys, I don't think I've ever been stuck in one, so...
I've semi-stopped. Like, in middle school, I listened to him quite a bit, because, you know, I was a cool kid, obviously. But,
I
yeah.
mean, I've never been like super into Vocaloids. Like, I like Vocaloid. Like, there's a handful of Vocaloid songs I really, really like, but which I'll probably talk about later when we actually talk about Vocaloid songs. But I just never. I'm just not super into it. I'm just not like that into the way it sounds, the way the voice sounds. I prefer, actual J-pop and stuff. I'm not super into the voice synthesizer thing.
It's understandable. I like the concept more than anything nowadays. I appreciate what it
I
is.
was gonna say, I feel like for me, it's. I almost want to say it's a lot of what people's issue maybe is for like EDM. Like, I can see the appeal. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like EDM, but like it's a newer thing. Newer, it's like 2004 or whenever it came out. It just has that sound that it almost sounds like nonsense, but like you can see where people would like it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's kind of like where my issue is, because like I found a couple that I like. I'm kind of in a similar boat with Zach. There's a few that I found that I like, but most of them I think I may have just like didn't luck in and found a bunch of ones that sound like they were older and they were a bit more bit crushed, so the sound just didn't hit the same as like listening to J-pop or J-rock or whatever.
I feel like the problem with Vocaloid is that it's definitely like it's hard to like get into Vocaloid now. I feel like Vocaloid is something you had to like have been around. Like, all the Vocaloid songs I love are Vocaloid songs I've known for a long time. But if I hear like a Vocaloid song now, I'm just like, it's all right.
Yeah. I mean, I can at least appreciate that technology, because like it's a way to give us singers without having people, which is interesting and a little scary at other points.
I mean, Black Mirror did a whole episode about that. It's not a very good episode, but it's
a Disney Channel original movie episode of Black Mirror.
It is. It's written by Miley Cyrus, starring Miley Cyrus.
Okay, then.
Not even kidding.
Wait, what?
Yeah, she plays a pop idol that I forget what the fuck her name was, but like she gets put into a coma by her aunt, and then they like take her likeness and put it into a program to make like a virtual concert thing. Yeah,
okay,
it's weird.
That sounds interesting. Don't get me wrong, a bit weird, but
they ruin it.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna ask. And we present to you Nana, Nebraska.
I think it was something dumb like that. Like, it wasn't that great. Anyways, moving back to Vocaloid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on like, there's not. The worldwide fan base has definitely died down heavily. Like, there's still content being created today, like the wrestling song that I like a lot.
I did find that, and that's August 29th, 2019 was when it was uploaded.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it's like the song is really good, the animation's really good, which also that's another thing that a lot of them have music videos tied to them that like people have made either with like Tween or something like that, and they all look like really good. Like, don't get me wrong, there's still a couple that are like hand drawn, really shitty, but like there's a lot of really good videos out there that people have made by themselves with their own drawing programs or whatever. It's very impressive.
I guess that's probably one of the. I guess if they didn't have like the Vocaloids, like the well, you could say faces tied to, I guess, the sounds or the voices. I mean, I imagine all the stuff that you could make with that. Like, just being able to make a music video to where you just have audio but no idea of what this thing should quote unquote look like. Like, if you just have a sound but you have nothing else to like figure out what it is. Like, that premise seems interesting to me, because it's just like you have no preconceived notions of what this thing is supposed to be. You just have a single solitary thing of this thing, and then you can just go from there and make whatever you want.
But I mean, at this point, like, they're so like interlinked. You could just make a Vocaloid song, and then everybody will just have that image in their mind. Like, everybody knows what Hatsune Miku sounds like. Like even with a voice synthesizer, like just mashed up words, it's so very recognizable voice.
Mm-hmm.
It would always be interesting if they came out with a new one to hold like a contest or something to, I guess, design the appearance of what that Vocaloid should look like.
I don't know. I have a feeling they probably have already done that. That sounds like just such a likely thing to happen.
Yeah, especially with a bunch of the new ones, because they released so many since the inception of 3, which is when it was really big.
Probably.
They're up to 5 right now, by the way, which came out in 2019. So they're still working on it. So then we have some of the other characters, which is like Rin and Len, which are, I'd say Hatsune Miku being like the number 1 spot. I feel like they'd probably be number 2.
Okay, I have a question. Are they twins?
Yes and no.
Yeah, it's vague. It's never been confirmed, but I think it's the same voice. Like, I think it was either program or something, but they pitched it to be correct for a one boy and one girl, so they sound similar and they're good for a duet. But they were released side by side.
Like it could just be the video content, but I've seen conflicting video content, and just like,
oh yeah, people love to make them fuck.
I'm like, what? Hey, hold on.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're like I mean, obviously, like, there are some pairings, like people tend to pair Miku with Kaito, but, like, Lin and Ren are, like, the pair, like, they are just always together, like, obviously, they were made to be essentially, like, the same characters, so, like, they're almost inseparable, like, obviously, they both have their own songs, but, like, pretty much every love song is either Miku and Kaito, or those two, which it's a weird thing. I believe, I might be wrong about this, but I think they've been confirmed to not be related, despite the fact that they have the same name.
And they look
could be wrong about
the
that,
exact same, but
yeah, I feel like we're running into the 400-year-old lolly situation, just slightly modified. No, it's fine. They're not related, but they look except they're not related, but they look exactly the no. They're not.
It's funny because if you find you can't really do some more modern songs like the Cutie Angel song. What the hell is that one called?
Seraphim on the Ring.
Yeah, which is the newest one that I've seen. You can't really do it with this, but with older songs, you could find almost any of them doing a cover of it because people like re-release that shit out the wazoo.
I do sometimes enjoy that, just finding a Vocaloid song sung by a different Vocaloid. I'm like, huh, that's neat.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about the Domino's app at the end of this because I do want to bring that up. But I guess let's start talking about some of the good music videos or good music and stories that they've told. Some of the most, I guess, what the company would consider the most popular song is it's like The World Ends or something like that.
Oh yeah, I know that one. I don't have that on my I have a couple Vocaloid songs and I'm kind of disappointed on my phone that I'm kind of disappointed I don't have that one because I love that one, especially at the start of it where she's like Sakaide. It's like, and the music video is really good for it because it's like this kind of like weird hand drawn kind of style.
So they have that one for Miku, which I think she's pretty much the only one that sings that one on their official concerts. And then you have like Ren and Lin's Butterfly on Your Shoulder. I think more specifically, it's like Purple Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder. Yeah.
I think I don't know that one.
It's pretty good. I haven't really been able to find a clean version of it. Like the one that I found would fucking blew ass, but it was alright.
Blue ass. Might be. That's never a phrase. That's a phrase I've never heard, and now I want to use it more.
But yeah, so like, fans have animated these hundreds of times. It's been ridiculous. And then you have like all the fan-made songs that came out, like Alice Human Sacrifice. I don't know if you've ever heard that one. It was pretty big back in the day.
I don't remember. I think I listened to a bit of it and didn't really like it, so I stopped listening to it. I think I don't remember what it sounds like, but I know I've heard that name before.
I watched it today, and it was good. It was a good one for having multiple people in it.
Yeah, it has 5 singers, where it has Miku, Lin and Ren,
Kaito?
Yeah, Kaito, and then oh god, the redhead girl that came out with the first generation. Hold on, I have the name. Miyako? I find it funny that Hatsune Miku didn't come out in the first generation of it. Like, they just didn't have their icon, and then bam, here she is. Everyone's like, oh my god. Alice Human Sacrifice is an interesting story because it's about the world of Alice in Wonderland and how there were rulers of it, and they were each like assigned a card, like suit. And it talks about how each one of them like dies eventually. Oh yeah, so they each got like a different card, and it showed like how they died. And there's like 5, probably about maybe 15 animated versions of this. And they all kind of have a slightly different take, because the translation is always slightly different. Because like, it's how you can interpret language slightly differently. So each interpretation is slightly different from the other ones. So it's worth looking into if you like the song. It was funny because in middle school I was really obsessed with Alice in Wonderland because of like a fuck ton of reasons. Like this song, the Alice Madness Returns video game, and like a couple other things just got me like really into the world of Alice in Wonderland for a while.
I would say the movies weren't out by that point, I think. Right?
I think they came out around that time. Maybe a bit after.
The live action ones, as you specified, not the Disney one that came out like decades and decades before.
No. Well, there's quite a few of them actually.
That's true.
But so that's really that's cool. Another more recent one is the Ending Night series, or Crazy Night series, I guess, which I think it starts out with the song Bad End Night. And it's just kind of about these like murders that go on, and it's done with tween, and it's really well done, like animated wise. Characters all look very clean, and it's sung by like I think 6 people.
Yeah, it looks like there's like 6 in there.
And then I think the final one is sung by 8 people. That one's probably one of the better ones. Problem with it is a lot of the really good ones are kind of locked behind Japanese text, and YouTube doesn't really allow you to search easily for that kind of stuff. So you kind of have to just get lucky and have it pop up in your recommendations, or search certain words that are in English. So like I can only imagine what I've never seen that is like, insanely good.
Wait. What did you? Wait, what was the one you were just talking about?
Bad End Night, but it was the Crazy Night, or the Crazy Night series.
I was just gonna say there. I know there's. I think this is Kagero Days. I think there's like a Vocaloid series called like Kagero Days or something, and it got like It got like an anime. I think it was like a Vocaloid like music series, and it got like its own anime series called Lukaku City Actors.
Huh. That's interesting. Oh, we didn't even talk about the whole Miku Miku Dance project in general.
Yeah, Miku Miku Dance is interesting. Like I like it. You want to know? I was super surprised when I learned that Ruby wasn't made in Miku Miku Dance. When season 1 came out, I was like, hey, cool, they made a series made in Miku Miku Dance on Rooster Teeth, and then I learned it was made in Face Pose, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it looks. I mean, like all the fan stuff is made Miku Miku dance, and it looks borderline the same.
Yeah, it looks pretty much the same.
I think some like lighting differences, but
I mean, not so much anymore. They switched to Maya, but
yeah.
But those first 3 seasons, yeah, no, it definitely, yeah, yeah, I can definitely see where that's a thing.
So it's like, you know, the Ruby culture that animates stuff is tied to, I mean, just Ruby culture in general. If you're kind of a real big fan of it and you look up stuff on YouTube, you'll see stuff influenced by Vocaloid, you know.
Oh, I don't know how many videos I've seen of the dance scene from the school, just with different characters, and I think it's all through Miku Miku Dance.
Yeah.
That's probably one of my favorite ones. I love that song, so I love that scene, actually.
Don't they also have a video game based off of that?
What, the Ruby video
No,
game?
no, I'm talking the Vocaloid. Like, I think there's a dancing video game.
Oh yeah, there's like a million of them. It's called they have lots of like different games, but the main series is called Project Diva, and they have like a million of those games. Though they recently on the Switch came out with like essentially what can be considered the definitive Project Diva game, where it's like all of the best songs. Like they got like the world one, the one we're saying is like the most popular one. They got like Melt, Popey Po. They got like so many like really popular Vocaloid songs on there. Yeah,
that's cool.
So it's like almost like a good modern starting point for Vocaloid. It's just like a pretty fun video game that just has like all of the best Vocaloid songs. Like almost every Vocaloid song I love is on that game.
So what would you say would be your personal favorite one, Zach? Like song?
My favorite song? I know exactly. It's a fan made one called the Straight Face Science Girl. It's a Lin and Rin song. It's essentially like the narrative of Rin falling in love with this like girl who's like really into science but doesn't show any emotions. He wants her to like open up and all that, but she's like really sadistic and abusive towards him, but he like keeps trying anyway. It's just like, I don't know why I like this song so much. Like the music video, it like looks really good as well. It's a really good song. Some other ones I really like though are, I love that World one. Melt is pretty good. Just a simple Miku love song. I Like You, I Love You, which is a Lin song that's like... Wait. No, I'm mixing up. Rin is the girl, Lin is the boy.
It's very rare that they're apart. Usually that's almost always a duet with them.
Yeah, but it's a Rin song where it's like... It's a love song sung towards the listener through the narrative of Rin being a computer AI who's in love with the person using the computer, and it's kind of funny because she's like this shy, stumbling like AI, like she's trying to like entertain him with like rock paper scissors and word games and stuff, but she's like really bad at them.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a funny joke I like in it where like they do the word game Shiratori, I think is the name of it, where you essentially say a word and then the next person has to like start their word with what ended theirs. And I think if you end a word with like in, you instantly lose because there is no word that starts with that or whatever. It's like a kind of hard to understand Japanese thing, but
Japanese got a lot of games like that.
Yeah, but let's see. Triple Baka is a classic. I don't know who the other. I don't know the two others. It's Miku and like two other characters that I don't know. I say two other characters. One of them doesn't even sing. She in the music video there's two. There's like a pink-haired girl. She sings a little bit, and then there's a blonde one that doesn't sing at all. Though I love the music video because the blonde girl is making the music on her phone by texting. Let's see. Is there any other ones I really like?
There's a series concept that I like, which is it's based off like the Seven Deadly Sins, where you have Judgment of Corruption as part of it, where it's like each one of them like is exuberant. No, what is the word I'm thinking of? Fuck it. They're showing off that sin more or less.
Exhibiting.
Yes, there you go. I don't know why my brain couldn't process that word, but like Judge of Corruption is showing off greed. The evil food eater Conchita, I think, is showing off gluttony. The Duke of Venomania is showing off lust. It's a very interesting little thing.
Another really good one. I can't remember the name of it, but like it's one of the most popular on YouTube that like so many people have seen. It's that one with the girl with like the red pigtails who's just like dancing back and forth, and you got like the weird cat guys doing it too. I feel like everybody's seen that one.
Yeah. I gotta remember that. I'll put that one in the... Also, I forgot to mention, I've put a link to like some of the most popular and like important songs for like the weird internet culture that Miku has. Link to that will be in the description.
Yeah, definitely compile the ones I like and put like a personal playlist. And then another one, the only one I can really think of that I also really like, and stay with me because the name is super dumb, but it's like I want to take my panties off or something like that. It's a god awful name, but it's actually a pretty good song sung by Rin about like wanting to be free or whatever. Like that's what she equates to freedom.
Interesting. A surprisingly good song is "The Worst Carnival," which has a special place in our channel and in our hearts personally. So good chance you haven't seen this, but if you have, we did a shitty anime opening parody years ago because we thought it'd be a funny idea, and we used that song as the as the music for it, and it fit really well. It's sung by Rin, and I think just Rin. Go check it out. Link to that in the description. Possibly second one in the works, by the way. So just a heads up for everyone.
Selfless self-promotion.
Oh yeah, it's good content. No, it's not.
All right, shameless self-promotion.
Shameful self-promotion.
Yeah, it's a lot of S's.
Okay, so Zach, do you know anything about Bad Apple?
That's a Toho thing, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't think that's specifically a Vocaloid thing. That's unless it's like. I mean, obviously, I feel like it's connected over time, but I think it's mostly just a Toho. It started in Toho, I believe.
Oh, okay. Because I like Bad Apple. It's like I have a fucking heavy metal version of it on my phone, and it's really good. But I found like a ton of Vocaloid covers of that, so I just didn't know.
I love... Since this is kind of connected to Vocaloid, I just kind of love, like... It's hard to, like, really catch a grasp of it, like, unless you dig, like, really into, like, old YouTube and stuff, but, like, the fucking Niku Dugga culture... for people who don't know, Niku Dugga is a Japanese, like video site, kind of like YouTube. It's mostly, like... Usually if you've, like, seen anything of it, it's, like, the thing where it's, like, a video and then the just Japanese text is just scrolling across the screen, because that's what Niku Dugga does, is when you type a comment, it saves at that time, and then everybody can see it fly past the screen.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
I mean, I imagine if English people, if Americans had this power, it would be a lot worse.
Oh my god.
I feel like Japanese are probably a lot more restrained.
Yeah.
I think you can turn it off.
Okay, good, because I'm like, I could just imagine just the entire video blanketed by You can't even see the video at this point.
If you've seen like any Nika Nika Dugga like related things, there's always like a million W's because people could just fill the screen with W's.
Oh my god. That is beautiful.
So what all those weird cat faces come from? Like the weird square mouth cats are like usually from Nika Nika Dugga like things.
Okay.
Like I feel like Battle Cats.
Yeah.
Weird game we're talking about. I'm pretty sure Battle Cats is probably somewhat related to Nika Nika Dugga.
You're not wrong. I'm gonna have to look into that because I think they did a collab with Hatsune Miku at some point too. So maybe it came full circle.
Like that's how they bring back a lot. Yeah, I actually need to be right back.
Okay. So Jarrett, you've never been exposed to this world. What are your opinions so far on this?
I mean, I can at the very least say it's interesting. It catches my eye because I mean, I like anime, so it's really not too far of a stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy really good music videos. Some of them I found have been really good. Some of them do have interesting stories. Others just have good songs.
Yeah.
Like the beats to them are pretty good. I guess only the first one I have seen was that one that you sent me of Seraphim on the Ring.
That's a really good song, and it doesn't... I was so surprised when I saw when that came out.
Yeah, it's newer.
It's done in Vocaloid 5, so it's the cleanest current version of it could possibly be.
Yeah, it's just really good. I enjoy it. The music video that they have for it is very clean, very well done. I enjoy wrestling, so it's a very good catch for me.
The duet is between Hatsune Miku and Rin, with Kaito in there somewhere.
Rin, I think he's the announcer.
He's the announcer.
Rin is the referee.
No, that's Lin. Rin is the other female wrestler.
Oh, Rin. Oh yeah, right. Sorry. Rin's the other female wrestler, and then Lin is the referee.
Yeah, Lin doesn't speak though. It's really funny.
Lin gets like 2 lines. He gets like 5.
Fuck, they wrestle. I think they wrestle 2 of the originals because I know the redhead short girl. She's one of the first.
It's Miyako.
Yeah, she's one of the first generation.
And then the other one is. Oh, where is it? I don't know.
It's a bit more of an obscure one. I don't think it's Luca.
It is Luca.
It is Luca? Okay. I'm
Luca.
like, Luca's really underrated in my opinion. She's a very cool idol. I think the only person that's more underrated is cool.
Yeah, it's Maiko and Luca.
Yeah.
I
feel like there's like almost like a hierarchy of like their popularity, where like probably like Luca and Gumi are like the bottom of the still relevant, but like holding on by a thread Vocaloids.
Yeah, there's ones that have died off, nobody's cared about, they have not updated them since. And then you have like the super populars that will always be updated and stay relevant. Fucking some of the first generation still isn't getting updated.
I remember there's another Vocaloid song I actually really like is I think it's called Tricolor Airport or whatever. So I just really like that's one that I discovered through the Project Diva games, and I just love the kind of theming and just like chill nature of it, because it's just this like very relaxed song that's like Miku, Rin, and some other girl singing. Just they're like dressed as like stewardess, and like they're singing as an airport, which I think they actually made for a airport thing. I might be wrong about that. I feel like I've read that about it. And then 2 songs I like that I actually forget are Vocaloid songs, because I don't like the Vocaloid versions, and I found much better like actual singer version of these 2 songs, and that's Drop Pop Candy and Lovatory. Lovatory is a pretty funny one, because it's like it's Rin and this other girl singing about just they're in love with this like robot or whatever. And I remember I watched a video. It's like, what your favorite Vocaloid song says about you. Laboratory's like, you want to fuck a robot.
That's funny. You mentioned that airplane thing. Apparently, because this there's like 5 companies that more or less commissioned Vocaloid in the very beginning, and one of them was a Spanish company. So there's a couple like actual Spanish Vocaloids, which is like Bruno and Clara. I know are 2 really big ones.
And there's another one that's Micah.
Yes,
There's like 3.
It's like a majority are Japanese, a handful are English, and then like an even smaller handful are Spanish.
And then you have like a small one for Chinese and like one for Korea.
Oh my god, their uni is Korean. Holy shit, I forgot about that.
It's called like CU.
Oh man. Yeah, there's just like an insane amount of Vocaloids, and there's also like counterparts for certain ones. Like Miku has a male version of her voice, which I don't remember what his name was, but it's just male Hatsune Miku, more or less. And it's, I don't know, it's weird. They almost try to reinvent her sometimes, but I think that they know that they just gotta stick with her. Because like the fan base is oddly divided in a group of they think that she's overrated, and then some think she's like perfectly fine where she is. And so I'm curious to where the company stands on that.
So that's like the languages it's available in is Japanese, English, Korean, Spanish, Chinese, and Catalan? Catalan?
Yeah, I don't know where the fuck that is.
I just love when Miku like kind of permeates this like Western barrier.
Mm-hmm.
Like was it like a phone commercial or whatever that had like a Vocaloid song, and it was just like didn't everybody have like Miku heads or whatever? Or no, I think they had heads of like some actor, but it was a Hatsune Miku song playing in the commercial.
Oh yeah, wasn't it like I remember what you're talking about. That was a weird commercial. Fuck, I gotta find that again. And then like you have voices like Oliver, who was they've used for Bee and Puppy Cat, which Puppy Cat is just Oliver's voice pack.
I love Bee and Puppy Cat.
Which I knew nothing about that, and I was like, wow, that's actually...
And though now, when you told me that, like right before we started recording, I was like, you know what, that makes a whole lot more sense as to the sounds that cat can make. I'm like, how is a person making that kind of voice? It's like, it's gotta be a program or something. Turns out I was right. I just didn't know how right to a degree I was.
I love, small insight, going back to the Sax Bazing Adventure thing. I think we had a character concept originally that was supposed to be a mannequin that spoke with a text-to-speech voice. It was something dumb like that, but I would have loved to use like a Vocaloid voice. So good.
I had to think that text-to-speech is almost like Vocaloid.
Yeah, I think the program like was hugely important when it came to the development of text-to-speech voices, in terms of like innovation and how they program it. I want to say the program itself is listed in some manual when it comes to actual programming. In some, I remember vaguely reading that somewhere, so I might be wrong. Don't quote me on that, but just the oddly impacting like last that this software has had on the world, totally by accident.
Accidental world conquest.
Yamaha. Yeah, Yamaha's responsible for a good chunk of the voices being created. And Sega, surprisingly. Sega actually has a handful of characters.
Oh yeah, Sega's the people who publish all the video games.
Interesting.
When
So,
when are we getting Hatsune Miku at the Olympics with Mario?
Which fun fact, there is a Hatsune Miku game on the 3DS, and in the part of the game is you can kind of like decorate little apartments and have the Vocaloids like live in them. And one of the things you can put in the apartment is a tiny steamroller, and the description for the steamroller is free.
that's awesome.
Hatsune Miku Hatsune Miku game published by Sega made a JoJo reference.
That's a few more degrees of separation that I didn't quite expect.
So, okay, so who do you think is your favorite Vocaloid?
Ren.
Really?
Yeah.
Any
She's
reason
just my
why?
favorite.
You just like that one?
I don't know. I like the design. I like kind of the characterization of her because she's kind of like essentially the smallest of all the Vocaloids. Like,
Yeah.
you know, pretty much all the other girls are like a lot taller than her. She's usually characterized by being kind of shy. I just think she's really cute. Plus, she's like involved in most of the love songs since her connection with Lynn.
Mine's kind of a tie between Cool and I like Gummy a lot. It's funny that you brought those two up about them being like the bottom tier of still relevant. Their voices, like their design is really... I'm not a huge fan of Gummy's design, but I really like Cool's design.
Is she the green-haired
Yes.
one?
It's like yellow jacket usually is how they portray her. It's like a green pixie cut. No, not pixie cut. Like bob, I guess? I don't know. I don't have hair, so I don't know.
I don't know hair, but I don't have it.
I cannot tell you the last time I was in a barber shop. But I'm not a huge fan of Gummy's design, but I really like Cool's design. And she probably has one of my favorite songs, which is Circus Monster. I found an English cover of that song years ago, and I just fell in love with it. It was so good. I could not tell you what it's about. I don't know if I've ever actually looked up the lyrics. Yeah, there's one song that I did look up the lyrics because I was curious, and I regret it heavily, and it's Romeo and Cinderella, which I like the naming scheme because it's like two fairy tales, but they're from different worlds, and that's cool. Cool concept. But dear God, that song is weird. Some of the lyrics they have in that are just.
Oh yeah, I just remembered because you saying that reminded me that my favorite Vocaloid song, the Straight Face Science Girl, I forgot to mention how sexual those lyrics are. It's filled to the brim with sexual science innuendos, like what is it, like my micro pipette drips or whatever. Like it's so funny. Like everybody's like, man, this is a cute. Like all the comments are like people making jokes about it. It's like, man, this is a cute song. Looks at the lyrics. Oh.
Yeah, in the Romeo and Juliet one, they have it's just implied, but it's like, oh yeah, I enjoy. There's like I eat all of Mom's sweets. I don't really like bitter things, and then it's like cuts to her looking at the other guy. It's like, what does that mean?
I mention I like video game mention multiple times. Hopefully one day get to do that episode. Bang Dream does a lot of Vocaloid covers, and some of them I really like. But like one of my favorites is kind of get it confused with Romeo and Cinderella a lot because the song is literally just called Romeo, which they have the other one in Bang Dream. They have both Romeo and Cinderella. Romeo's a really good song as well. I think the original sung by Kaito and Miku, but the Bang Dream one is done really good as a duet between two of the characters, one who rarely actually sings.
Madness of Duke Venomania is done by GAKUPO. It's the guy with the long purple ponytail. That song, the story in that song is really interesting because it's just about this guy who he's seducing like the women of this village, and they kind of go to his palace and they just die there. Like not like, you know, from being murdered, it's just they go there and they just kind of fall in love with him or like entranced by like some, it's not really stated what, it's like either a spell or poison or something along those lines. Fall in love with him and then end up dying from miscellaneous reasons. But that happened to Len or it happened to Rin, and so Len dresses up like Rin and goes in there to get revenge, and just ends up stabbing him. So it's a cool song. Storytelling's really well done. They've replaced characters, but I know the most popular one is that version.
I mean, I don't know if that's like how that's sung, if it's sung by the multiple characters, but I feel like if you go with that narrative, it's Rin and Lin fit the best, because obviously Lin is the best one for being a person to cross-dress as someone else and sneak in.
Is that a knife in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? No, it's a knife. Uh-oh.
Just stab.
Step. I guess we should probably talk about the Domino's app for a little bit, if you want to take that, because I don't actually know a lot about this.
What is this wild ride of a Domino's app?
Domino's app with Hatsune Miku. I love the video so much. That video is so hilarious, because that is the actual CEO of Domino's Japan. At least he used to be, and it's just so fucking funny. So it's like they made this app. It was like you would order in Japan. You would order pizza from Domino's, and they would give you they would.
Jarrett just put in a meme. I'll put it up for people on YouTube, but it's the
timing was impeccable.
Yeah,
I wasn't even looking for this.
Great.
It's so relevant. But essentially, you would download the Domino's app, order pizza through it. The pizza boxes would have like would have like stuff on it, so when you would scan it with your phone, and then like a little concert would happen, like Miku would dance on the pizza box and it would play a song. That's pretty much all it was, but they made like a commercial for it and all that, and it was really, really funny. Just because of how awkward the CEO of Domino's Japan was, because he's he's an American, like an American guy, like a really old American guy. Which I learned about this through the video game Yonoid 2, because the final boss is a Vocaloid. He's just trying to start this, like, I think he's like Hatsune Miku's dad or something. I think that's like the joke. I can't remember his name though. But he's like, he just wants to take over the world Vocaloid or whatever. But then we start getting into the wild ride of where the Domino's Pizza app, and it's like what happened with that. So eventually, obviously, they stopped. It was a promotion. They stopped it, of course. It happens. But then one day they removed the video off. Domino's Japan removed the video from their YouTube. And a YouTuber that I actually really liked before all of this, like he used to be on the podcast Cool Games Inc. YouTuber named Nick Robinson. Babylonian, I think is his YouTube name. He decided to investigate the fact that it was removed off of their YouTube channel, because he was like, I really like this video. I'm gonna figure out what's going on.
So you bought a ticket to go to Japan.
Yep, the very first ticket to Japan in his long line of tickets to Japan.
Is that really the first one?
Yes.
Wow. He has like a running joke where, like, if he can't solve a problem immediately, he just buys a ticket to Japan and flies over there.
Now, this is one of his really older videos. It's the first time he ever did it. He goes to Japan, goes to the Domino's headquarters, and I love the sequence of events that happens there, because it's so interesting what happened. So he goes there, he like tries to find, like asks around and trying to find where the CEO is. Obviously, he doesn't really have any luck in trying to find the CEO. That's an insane thing. But an interesting thing is, in the lobby, there's just a lot of flowers for some reason. Like, it's something he takes note of. There's just a lot of flowers around. And he can't really figure that out. And then eventually, I think he gives up and goes away. He goes back home. And he learns like a couple days later that the CEO of Domino's Japan retired, and that was all the flowers were for, was to celebrate his retirement. He just very coincidentally came on a day that they were like that this was happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
But time passes. A couple years, I think,
It's
like
like 2 or 3.
2 or 3, to a couple months ago, from when this is recorded in June of 2020. Nick Robinson is just talking about, like, is kind of disappointed that the Miku app is gone. Like, the Domino's app is gone, so you can't do the Miku stuff anymore, and you can't find any of the music. It's hard to find the music videos and stuff. So he gets in contact with these people, and they remake the app, like, because he has because he used to have it on his iPhone. He has the API for it, and they're able to actually bring the app back from the dead. And it's like this crazy roller coaster of emotions as Nick Robinson and they bring multiple people on board. Like, they just keep getting people, and then and then at the end they're all celebrating. It's like, yes, we did it. We brought back the app. And you can barely do anything in it now because the app is so broken. Because since a lot of it's just external videos and stuff, but it's just funny to see that they managed to work all that through and get it.
It's so weird and unnecessary, but
it's history though. The fucking Domino's Pizza app.
I love it so much.
I was there every step of the way.
I was not, but I've been having Zach keeping up with tabs.
I'm glad I knew about the pizza app before it was gone. All that.
So, anything else we really need to talk about when it comes to Vocaloids? This is definitely a shorter episode, but I was reading the Wikipedia, and they definitely mentioned that there's a lot of doujinshi about these characters. Love it.
Of course.
I always love the kind of waning narrative of whether or not Miku's an AI. Sometimes Miku's an AI, there's just a person.
There's a game called Everlasting Summer where there's a character that's just Hatsune Miku, but I think the name is different. It's weird. Because she's weirdly open source. I don't think you can sell items with her face blatantly on it, but if you buy the software, you can make music without any problems whatsoever. So
Our own in a couple years' time, just to celebrate the podcast, make our own Vocaloid song. Awful, because none of us know how to make music.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I can read music. So yeah, I'm only imagining the fucking thumbnail I'm having Tyler make for this. It's just gonna be Hatsune Miku with Chika face. And that is something that if you are listening to us on any platform, you will see. So take a look at your phone, see a nice giant Chika face, Hatsune Miku.
Hatsune Chika.
Yeah. Anything else we want to say?
No, I think we did. Think we gave it a fair shot.
Fair enough.
Fair shake.
One small thing, if you're listening to this and you are on my YouTube channel, or if you know about my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BThepoet. I don't think that actually leads you to me. You will notice a handful of videos coming out about this time. Check them out. They're going to be fairly interesting. There's no official name for them yet, but me and Zach are just going to be talking about a handful of things. So yeah, check them out. Maybe a link in the description depending on when those videos come out, but some support would be great. They're anime related. And yeah, so thank you for joining us. You can find links to everything in the link dump, along with our Twitters and other social medias if you feel like following us. We'll have playlists of a bunch of songs we talked about, personal favorites, whatnot, and important songs. As always, we post twice a month. We'll occasionally have a special episode, so be sure to stick around for that. Next time, be sure to join us, where we'll be talking about underrated and underappreciated animes. And as always, have a good day.
Bye. Bye. Have a good time. BThepoet.